Alright, so you might be looking for your first investment to buy. What kind of investment is easy to rent out? In this episode, we'll find out. Hi everyone, my name is Casey from Home Quarters, and at Home Quarters, we specialize in customized marketing solutions to properly expose your unit for sales. And for buyers and investors, we properly analyze the unit that you are looking for in order to make good returns. Alright, so firstly, today's episode will talk about how to identify a unit that is easy to rent out, and a lot of first-time investor or even multiple property investor will always ask us this question. So let's dive right in. Alright, there are 3 points that we want to cover today. Right, firstly, where shall we buy? In the central in Singapore, in the outside, right, still near to the central, but on the outer fringe of the city center, or on the outer fringe of Singapore. So these are the places that you might be considering when you're buying your investment property for rental use, right? Secondly, we talk about rental prices. How do you set your rental prices? How do you properly get a good rental price for that particular unit in that particular development once you have made the decision for that investment unit? And lastly, we talk about turnover rate. If let's say you are buying an investment property for rental yield, very importantly, you do not want to have empty slot in between the two different tenants if let's say they are not renewing. Right? So we are looking for an investment property that have very good turnover rate. And how do we identify such good turnover rate rental units? So first I'm going to talk about where should we buy for rental use. I think firstly we got to look at budget. For the same budget, for example, if you got $1.5 million at the core central region, you probably can only buy something 1 to 2 bedroom. At the rest of central region, you can afford something that is 2 or even smaller 3 bedroom. And of course, for $1.5 million at the outer region or outside central region, you can afford something bigger, 3 bedroom or even a 4 bedroom unit. So you look at budget, right? What are the budget that we are looking for before we look at what are the region that you are looking to buy. Some of the other consideration that you might have is that, is there a possibility that you might be staying in this investment unit next time? Right? If you are, probably you want to look at your current family situation to determine what sort of property type that you are looking at, either 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, right? For single, if you're at that life stage where you have a family with kids, you might need to go to buy a 3 to 4 bedroom in case, or you had the plan to stay in that investment unit later on in life. Another very important thing that you have to take note of is this investment property, is the focus on rental or is the focus on capital yield, and also the time horizon. All this has actually been covered in one of our previous episodes, and do check them out. We'll leave a link down below. Next up, before you put in the check to purchase a rental unit, you've got to look at the rental prices. Where do you check such rental prices? For HDB, usually it's not for investment, but if you are looking at rental prices for HDB, you can go to HDB website to check out the past transacted rental prices. Next up, if you are looking for a private condominium or apartment, right, URA is a very good public resource where you can check out all the previous past transacted rental in your particular project or condominium. If let's say you have an agent that is assisting you, many of us actually subscribe to specialized tools that enable us to more clearly find out what are the exact, probably the rental rate of that particular probably views or that particular size, because in a condominium there might be a few different sizes of 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom unit. If you are looking to rent out this investment, you're going to check out the market rental rate and then find out the rental yield if it's attractive enough for you. Alright, so we talk about rental yield. What are rental yield? The rental yield's formula is the price of the rental per month multiplied by 12, you get the annual rent divided out by the purchase price, right, you get a percentage, right? The percentage is of course term your rental yield. Today is 2019, we are on November already. The range is about 3 to 4%. If you get higher than that, then that actually is a good investment if all things remains the same. Before we dive deep into this subject of rental, we have also previously made a video entirely for renting, and I think that will be very helpful for TOP landlords, right? This will prove to also be helpful to those that are looking to invest in rental units. So do check us out. I think we'll link it down below so you can check out that video after this. As a general rule of thumb, units that have beautiful view, unblocked view, or quiet facing generally also do command a little bit of a higher rental price if you are keen to furnish up the place so that the tenant can just come in with their luggage. Sometimes because of the fuss-free nature of such unit, you could also get a little bit of better rental price. So these are a little bit of tips and tricks. Of course, the floor level and view you cannot change, right? The only things that you can change if let's say you have already purchased a unit is probably be flexible in your furnishing. Thirdly, we talk about turnover rates, right? Before you again purchase a unit, you want to check out the turnover rate if it's for rental purposes. What is turnover rate? Turnover rate is after a tenant leave, how fast is it that you are able to get the next tenant? For some of the project or condominium in Singapore, they are not really popular with tenants, and so from one tenant to the next, it could stretch up to 1 to 2 months or even 6 months or more. In our line of work and also experience, I have actually come across some units that have been vacant for at least 6 months to a year, right? So these are the things that you have to take note of when you are buying a unit just purely for rent. You don't want to leave the unit vacant for too long. Firstly, because the rental will cover the mortgage. When it is vacant, you have to absorb the entire mortgage and all the other expense that comes into play when you have an investment unit. Secondly, if let's say nobody has been staying in that unit for a long time, appliances will start showing more wear and tear, and also sometimes electrical appliances without regular use, it could be damaged or spoiled. So the wear and tear will increase if it is kept vacant. How do we find a unit that have a very good turnover rate, meaning that the time taken from one tenant to another will be very short and probably it is back to back and we do not have any time that the unit is left vacant? You have to buy a unit that is near tenant pool. What is tenant pool? Tenant pool means that this is where your prospective tenant have a lot of activity, meaning they could be working there, they could be socializing there as well. Some of the more famous tenant pool, of course, will be your central business district, where a lot of expats are, a lot of multinational companies are, all the workers that have came from overseas actually need a place to stay, and most probably they wouldn't be buying up a unit, so they would then rent it out. That's why in the downtown core area, in the Shenton Way area, units like 1 or 2 bedrooms is actually very popular, and the turnover is very high, meaning that the time taken from one tenant to the next is very short. Other popular tenant pool area are also on the east side. You have your Changi Business Park. These are professional, again from multinational company or expats that will be looking at surrounding condominium projects to rent, because they most probably come here for a short stint of less than 5 years. In the west side itself, we also have One North, your Metropolis, your Biopolis, your Fusionopolis. There are actually a lot of experts there that are looking for houses to rent there as well. Of course, different tenants from different tenant pool have specific needs and wants. Probably those people that are living or working and are looking for a downtown central region house is most probably expat, single expat, or just a couple, right? As you go outside of the central, people are looking for bigger houses. These are not absolute true, but this is from our experience. If let's say it is for a rental play, you want to look for somewhere that has a tenant pool close to industrial park, close to a business park, maybe close to the airport as well. Sometimes these are important to the tenant, so you have to look at it from the tenant point of view. Other than tenant pool, another point to note is that sometimes tenants like to congregate and gather. For example, it's very famous in the Boat Quay area, in the River Valley area. There are a lot of Caucasians in the West Coast area because of the near to Japanese International School. There are a lot of Japanese tenants that are looking for rental units there. So this could also prove to be another point to consider when you are looking to buy that investment unit for rental play. Alright, here comes to the end of our episode. If you are looking for an investment that is worthwhile, do contact Home Quarters, and we are always happy to be a resource to you to dive deeper into the analysis on where is good and where will be suitable for you. Alright, do contact us at www.homequarters.com.sg/contact us, and we'll get back to you real soon. Right, that's all for today. See you on the next episode. Hi everyone, if you are keen to have Home Quarters help you effectively expose and market your unit for sale and also give you opinion on your purchasing decision, do hit us up at www.homequarters.com.sg. Hit here to like this video if you find it useful, hit here to subscribe, and also watch some more video on this channel.